Hey everyone, this is a Talisman. This is Ryan.
This is Jeremy.
This is Phil.
And you're listening to Tom and Zeus on the Shout It Out
Loudcast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Here we go. This is Gene Simmons.
Put that cookie down.
Yes.
Stop pressing the button.
Stockbroker Simmons.
Star? Paul Stanley. Is that what he does? Stop shouting.
My name is Ace Riley.
He's not what you would call a handsome man.
Oh, no. Here come the kiss cards. Is that a positive thing? Okay.
All right.
I'm going to grab me an ice cold mellow yellow.
Why? Why do that to the fan? Stop it. Why? Because fuck them.
That's wrong. What are you talking about? 617-525-0850.
You do? Hey, fucko.
Do you like Kiss? Settle down.
Hello. Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? Tom and Zeus in another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast. Episode 176. Kiss and Boston Radio with Mistress Carrie and Mike Hsu. Tom, how the hell are you doing?
There's a sentence I bet you never thought we'd say. Two Boston radio legends that we spent years listening to, now part of the Pantheon family with us, on our show to talk Kiss, Boston radio, Kiss on the radio in general from two lifelong DJs. It's going to be a fun one. I think everybody's going to have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, we really enjoyed this. Tom was fanboying when we met Mike many years ago, not that long ago, but when he was thinking about coming on Pantheon with us. I think we're Pantheon's official ambassador.
Pretty much.
How many friends have we gotten onto Pantheon?
I will pat ourselves on the back for that. Fuck yeah.
Right?
Yep, that's right.
Tom, as I was saying, this has been a crazy day for us because my hard drive finally got replaced, and the Dell guy that came over here, and they pro support, the guy comes over, had to tell me that he was in the Kiss Army in the 70s, and he has a Kiss jacket, and he has Kiss Peter Criss albums.
Do you like Kiss and Dell computers?
And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I got to finish my podcast. Install the fucking hard drive.
What you should have said is, hey, buddy, this is great. Do you want to join Patreon?
Dude, the guy was showing me pictures of his goats. He's got a bunch of goats on a farm. I live near Brockton. You know Easton? You know Stonehill College? Shit, you not, Tom. And I'm like, yeah, I went there. Yeah, I know Stonehill.
Yeah, we got in trouble. Why?
Do you know it? Oh, shit, I've got all this Kiss stuff in the 70s at my house. I don't even know. My parents' house. I still got it. I'm like, dude, what's your parents' address?
I was just going to say, dude, thanks for the pro support. Now give me that lunchbox. I'm 77.
Oh, he's a nice guy. But
wow.
Jesus, I just like, fucking let's go. Up until like 7 o'clock, like 5 of 7, I finally got my computer up just enough to, install Zoom so we can get the interview done.
Yeah.
And now we're recording now. Audacity's all fucked up. I got to figure that out. So if this episode sounds like shit,
blame Joe from Brockton. What did he think of Jan Terry?
He's a nice man. In case he listens, he's a nice guy.
I know. That's awesome. Honestly, though, what are the odds of your computer being fixed by a diehard 70s Kiss fan?
Oh,
it's incredible.
He's like, well, I'm like, oh, so you like the CDs and stuff? He goes, oh, I've got about like 10,000 CDs. I'm like, so this is small. He goes, oh yeah, I got 2 rooms full.
Holy
shit. He's like, I used to be in a band. I used to do this. I fucking did. I live on a farm. I got this. What the fuck are you doing? You're like a Renaissance man, Paul Stanley. He was going on and on. But
that's
anyway. So what we always do, we always say this. We always go back before we go forward. We review the previous week's episode. Now, we've been talking about this for quite some time about like cutting back on feedback and things like that because it's too much. The feedback on Crazy Nights review is the most feedback we've ever got. This Crazy Nights review is the most downloaded album review we've ever done. It's like broken every fucking record we've done. It's I can't explain it.
Yeah, it's it's funny because as far as album reviews go, Unmasked album review was like the gold standard for polarization and interaction on our social medias. Because we've always said this before, the more polarizing the album, the more you have people coming out to either defend it or shit on it. This Crazy Nights episode has just absolutely destroyed anything we've ever done, whether it's downloads, interactions, comments, retweets, shares. You guys are fucking amazing. We cannot love you guys more because this is unbelievable. For every comment who said, Crazy Nights, I remember buying the CD. I love it. It's one of my favorite albums. There would be another comment saying, this is fucking awful.
Yeah.
This album review should take 5 minutes. The album sucks. Like it was incredible interaction. It was amazing.
The feedback is insane. So what we're going to do is we're going to like really, I know we always talk about limiting it, but we got to. There's no way we can get through. I mean, there's fucking like a couple hundred comments on Twitter, on Facebook, on our Facebook,
the emails,
group,
the
on YouTube. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
You guys really, really had a lot to say about Crazy Nights.
Yep.
So let's get it started with our poll about the songs, Tom.
Oh, this annoys me. I'm going to tell you, this fucking annoys me. I love you guys. And we
Twitter poll people. Vote.
Yeah. We understand here with the polls that a lot of these kiss tards that you're not listening to the show. You're scrolling through, and we understand that we're talking to people who aren't even going to listen to this, but this is annoying. First of all, the poll was huge. And of course, it's always favorite song. So we pick our top 4 songs. We did the 3 singles, and then we picked a Gene song. So Crazy, Crazy Nights, Reason to Live, Turn on the Night, and Good Girl Gone Bad. You fucking people picked Crazy, Crazy Nights won the poll.
Not Crazy Nights, Tom.
No, it's not the title track.
No, it's not.
34%. Turn on the Night gets 32. Crazy, Crazy Nights got more votes than Turn on the Night. Horrible. Then Reason to Live at 21%. And then this is how you can tell this is people who aren't fans of this album. Good Girl Gone Bad gets 13%. We love you guys, but not when you vote. Not when you vote. And we got a lot of write-ins for Turn on the Night, even though people voted. But a lot of people had a lot of different comments. A lot of people loving the Gene songs that we talked about. Like we said, the comments were just all over the place, saying how much they love this album, how much they hate this album, how much they love the Gene songs, how much they love the keyboards, how much they hate the keyboards. Just incredible interaction. That's the poll results. I know Zeus has a couple things he wants to talk about on Facebook. Then we're going to blow through some YouTube comments and emails, and we want to get to the interview. So, what do you got on Facebook and Loudcasters, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, over on Facebook. Let's start off with the fact that Mark Flores Music, our buddy,
oh my God,
he made a Crazy Nights fucking album cover with Jan Terry on the cover.
Incredible. And speaking of that, I'll jump in on that. But let me jump in real quick. Our buddy Ken in Satan's Service did a Jan Terry Kiss solo album, which was incredibly put her big mug on the template of a solo album. So you guys are amazing. You guys are just awesome.
Yeah. Michael Dixon, worst overproduced Kiss album.
Oh, come on, man.
Ivan Brown, overproduced. Ron Nevison was not a good choice for rock bands in the 80s. Now go say that to Heart.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
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 Brian Crizell, this album is underrated. And I do agree. Paul bringing up shit about Eric Carr that can't be proven is probably why his family won't let them use his likeness. Yeah, we talked about that.
Good point.
Yeah. And that's too bad about that stuff. And we hope that shit can get fucking finished up at some point, but who knows? And then Dan O'Halloran says, Jan Terry, ha, ha, ha. She's like a less fuckable Zeus.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I'm hoping if you make it on the cruise this year, Zeus dresses up for Halloween as Jan, and Tom dresses up as the mulleted stud boyfriend. I might literally die if I saw that.
That's never happening.
Fellow, all all that aside, fellas, excellent episode.
Thank you. That's never happening.
So I'm not going to read the other 170 fucking comments here. Holy shit this time, guys.
I love it.
Wow. Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Over on Loudcasters, Chris Lyon says, it sucks. Review over.
See, that makes me laugh. I love that.
You also put the Condemnation bootleg cover and you showed the front and back there online.
Yes, that's right.
So people can see.
Yep.
Nicolino.
Yeah, Nicolino.
Sword and Stone is one of my favorite Kiss songs ever. And it sucks. It never saw the light.
Good
How's
point.
the quality on that disc?
It's excellent. Excellent. If you can find, any of you bootleggers out there, Condemnation. It's amazing. It's a really, really nice collector's item and it sounds good. And it's got 3 unreleased songs on it. So I highly recommend it if you can find it.
Yeah. Our buddy Graham Richley, who finally received his winnings in Australia.
That's right.
From the Kiss Madness tournament.
Congrats to Graham.
A nice picture. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy. Love the Gene songs on this album. The best Paul song on the album is Bang Bang You. So that tells you all you need to know.
Oof.
Settle down with Turn on the Night. It blows.
What?
I am with Gene on this album. Their third worst album behind The Elder and Carnival of Souls.
Oh, God,
you can ship all that stuff back to the United States with
that's
comments
that's a heartbreaking comment, Graham.
Yeah. Joey Romanek. This was the last Kiss album I ever bought. I heard most of the stuff released since then, and I just moved on musically. I've seen Kiss on Animalize and Asylum tours, and a friend of mine saw the video for Crazy Crazy Nights and told me that it looked like a Kiss concert was a giant party, so he wanted to go. We went to the concert, and he loved it. Not long after this, another friend of mine let me borrow Live After Death, and the world was never the same for me.
Oof, yikes. I can see why.
Yep. And so let's skip on over because I don't want to go through a million of these comments to YouTube.
There you go.
All right. Mark Stewart. I love Turn on the Night. It has a feel of Bon Jovi's Wild in the Streets and Poison's Nothing But a Good Time.
Oh, that is an insult. Both of those are insults.
By the way, you guys will hate me. I loved Poison's version of Rock and Roll All Night. I saw it live on MTV in 87 through 88. And just wait until now to say because of fear of backlash.
You know what we need to start doing? You know how we always do comment of the week? We're going to start doing worst comment of the week.
Pinheads and Patriots.
Yeah. There you go. Pinhead of the week.
Comment of the week.
We love you. We love you, buddy.
Comment of the week and Kiss Tart of the week.
Ooh, that could be a new segment, perhaps.
And the Kiss Tart of the Week award.
No, you know what's going to happen? People are going to say outrageously horrific things so that they can be Kiss Tart of the Week.
They still do anyways, regardless.
That's a good point.
Mr. Antonio 2005. Jan Terry should do a cover of Recent to Live and have Private Cusano guest on the track. The video would have Private Cusano in a pantsuit playing his pink guitar and keyboards, and Jan taking the role of the model Elsie Brody. That's a winning combination.
Oof, I don't know if it is.
Yeah. Jason Leonard says, Gene, I'll buy you a Porsche, a cheap one. Comedy gold.
That's awesome.
Marty White. Is it possible that the reason Eric was insecure about not being the original drummer was caused by Paul? The fans loved him, but imagine this scenario. Eric asks to sing a song. Paul says no. Eric says that the band used to have 4 singers. Paul says that was when everyone had 25% share. You are a hired gun, not a full member. For having the audacity to ask to sing, Paul punishes him next year by making him sing Beth.
Oof.
Paul likes to passively aggressively punish people. Think about how he punished Peter with I finally found my way. No, that's Tom's theory.
That's my theory.
It's not a fact. But anyway, Paul's brain is very own psycho circus. Very well said, Marty.
Okay.
Very well said. Tom, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, we got some emails. Let's fly through these. Our good buddy Mike H. Not a fan at all. One observation that Paul wants to be Bon Jovi, the band, not the dude, in the worst way is by looking at the back cover. No guitar, just hair and tan. It gives the impression that it's Paul's band and the other guys are just the backing band. It's a good point. I think I like that.
Yeah.
Our buddy Stephen Wood. Oh, he loves these album reviews. I love it. This is one of my favorite episodes. The detour into Jan Terry was one of Zeus's finest moments. All right. Ooh. Your show rekindled my interest in this album as I had cherry-picked the, quote, good songs and dismissed the rest way back when. I was into thrash full time and the keyboards on Crazy Nights were too much for me to deal back then. A gem like My Way may have been buried forever without you guys and Jericho singing its praises. Then he goes into an amazingly awesome detailed ranking and description of each song. Then he has a couple of nice things to say here. You guys are the Chris Jericho of podcasts. Your commitment and your work ethic. Whoa. Wow. I finally got around to listen to your Zeppelin. I've never really been a fan of Zeppelin. The only album I own is the Jimmy Page remastered double CD. I'm a massive Sabbath fan. Back in the day, it was kind of like an either or scenario. These days, I'm much more open and have recently gotten into David Bowie, and I suspect Zeppelin is next. Keep up the great work. Never change. We love you, Steven. That's awesome. Thanks, buddy. Great email. Our buddy Lance sends another nice, huge, long email about this. And we just want to reassure you guys that, yes, we are reading your emails. We might not read them during the show, but we are reading and seeing your emails. And it's awesome because Lance shared a picture of one of his most cherished collectibles, which is the official original tour book from the Crazy Nights tour.
That's awesome.
That's pretty fucking awesome. I love seeing stuff like that. And then we've been getting some comments direct from our website, which is really awesome. So we thank you for that. We got one from our buddy Nige. Killer episode, guys. Major kudos as always. As I've mentioned a few times before, Crazy Nights is my favorite Kiss album.
It is. And
Turn on the Night is my number one Kiss song. Song for song, I would rank Crazy Nights ahead of anything by Bon Jovi, Doc and Rat, Warrant, Cinderella, Whitesnake. It ranks alongside Pyromania and ahead of Hysteria. And obviously, it is a billion miles ahead of Poison and crap like the Bullet Boys and Slaughter and those countless other Sonny Pooney bands. Then he says, sorry, Sonny, love you, buddy. Yeah, this is, and then he goes on and just keeps gushing about it. He says, Crazy Nights is an absolute classic rock album. I think the only reason it's not talked about in the same breath as Slippery When Wet and Hysteria is because it's a Kiss album. Yeah. Oh, Nige, that's fantastic. Thank you, buddy. We love that. Keith Weitzel, another great long email from him telling his story. I love this. Great review of Crazy Nights. This one had a special place in history for me as well, being the first actual release I was waiting for. I jumped on board around Animalize, but didn't pay attention to release dates until Crazy Nights. This is great. Just awesome stuff. Then he tells a really great story about him being in high school, getting the album. We love that stuff when you guys share stories. Then we got another website comment from our buddy Steve Wright. Yes, from Potter Than Hell. We love Steve. Fun episode, guys. I totally agree with you guys on the awesome Gene songs on this record. Turn on the Night is amazing. One of the very best 80s Kiss songs, hands down. My MVP on this album by far is Bruce. He absolutely tears it up on this album. No doubt. That's right, Steve. And make sure you guys listen to Potter Than Hell. Great podcast. They talk about Kiss, but they talk about everything. All kinds of rock and metal. So check Steve out and his buddies. Great show. Let's see. We got something else here from our website, which is awesome. From Twisted Kister. He says, I thought I'd post my thoughts here on this swanky new website. Crazy Nights is a pretty good album. Only two songs I don't really care for are I'll Fight Hell to Hold You and My Way. They just don't fit the style that I like. The Gene songs dominate this album for my tastes. Then he continues, like you both said, Bruce shines here on both the Paul and Gene songs. Kind of crazy how Paul was the face of 80s Kiss, and on one of the most 80s sounding albums, he's second fiddle. We kind of said that too. That was great. Then he gives his rankings of albums and songs. Love it. Enjoy the episode, guys. Glad you're out there spreading the gospel. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Got an email from our buddy West Beach. Of course, he's talking about The Thief in the Night. song because of course he played with Wendy O. Williams and the Plasmatics. He says the story I heard is that Paul was pissed when he found out that Thief in the Night was originally on Wendy O's solo album. He was never a fan of hers and probably thought it was almost like a cover song. I always liked Wendy's version better, more straightforward and heavier. Gene is the one who came up with that syncopated single string guitar motif in the pre-chorus, which I always liked playing live. How Gene snuck that song on there without Paul knowing its origin is priceless, and I can just hear Mr. Stanley giving him hell for it when he found out. Another gem of a show. Awesome email, Wes. That's why we love reading your emails, because you were part of this. You were in there. So it was
thanks,
great.
Wes, for the insight, buddy. We appreciate
absolutely. And the handsome, smarter, and nicer Poonie writes to us. This is Danny.
Yep.
Want to drop a quick note. Love the Crazy Nights review. When I was too young to own any of my music, I used to sneak into Sonny's room when he wasn't home. We're exposing some crimes by the Poonie brothers. He used to play his Crazy Nights CD over and over again. When I finally got my first Walkman for my birthday in 88, Crazy Nights was the first cassette I bought. For me, no skippable songs. Every one is a winner. Great nostalgia. Looking forward to seeing you guys at Creatures Fest.
Nice.
Woo! Oh, it's going to be great. That is
absolutely
going to be great.
Rumor has it that he's going to be there. Our buddy, the curmudgeon, Tony Musalam, is going to be there.
That's right.
Sonny Poonie will be there.
Joey Casada. It's going to be
and a lot of kiss tards.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah.
Jesus. We got one here from Chrono. Hey, he says, new fan here. Just discovered you through Jericho. Huge quarantine fan, and of course, Kiss. I got on the elevator just recently. Also, Shandy rocks.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Let's see. We got a nice one here again from our website from Doug Bentley. Hey, fuckos, longtime listener, first time caller. I love that. Love you guys. We ran into you on the cruise last year. Yes,
Ooh.
Doug, we remember. That's awesome. Can't wait to see you this year. I got to say, this whole shit show of a second cruise really bugs me, but enough of that. Then he goes, of course you think Reason to Live could have been a hit. It was. It was called I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. Wow, that's an interesting take. Thanks for doing what you do. Love from Montreal. All right, Doug.
Tom, I'm going to jump in here because I'm looking at some DMs that we got too. And one of them was from Stephen Wood. And he wanted to let us know, I bet Jan Terry bangs like a dunny door.
I have no idea what that means.
That must be some British type of humor.
Please, somebody help us out what that is.
I don't know. A couple other quick DMs that I want to read before we finish up with, I think, what is the comment of the week.
Yep.
Nicolino decided to send us a picture of what looks like Ace passed out with Flintstones, Diet Slice, and some Cracker Jacks. It looks like he's fucking half naked. I posted this as a comment for the last episode, but they took it down and said it was against regulations, I guess.
Oh, man.
And he said, you guys make my weekend.
Nice.
And then finally, Gary Roth wrote to us and said, hey, guys, thank you finally for doing another album review episode. Crazy Nights was the album that was out when I got back into Kiss after Exposed. Funny that you mentioned that Thief in the Night would fit on Lick It Up. I was thinking the same thing as you were playing the clip. Very much looking forward to that review. I assume
nice.
Lick It Up.
Awesome.
And that's the DMs for this
okay.
week, Tom.
And we're going to wrap it up here. This comes from an email from Rudy Doth. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Love you guys. Hey, Tom and Zeus. I discovered you guys a few weeks ago by listening to your Eddie Trunk interview. Ever since I've been binging out on past episodes, I got to slow down. I don't want to blast through them too fast. I particularly love the album and tour reviews and also the in-depth interviews with people like Carmine Appice, Hal Sparks, Adam Mitchell, and that bootlegger guy. That's Roy Dam. So entertaining, informative, and funny all at the same time. I've listened to quite a few podcasts, but I always am left wanting more. Most of them are incredibly boring. You guys are by far the best podcast I have ever heard, music or otherwise. Robert Plant, David Lee Roth, they both put me to sleep with their podcasts. I didn't even know either one of them had podcasts, but that's okay.
Robert Plant does.
Okay. Unlistenable in my honest opinion. Again, I think I mentioned this in a previous email. I absolutely love how you balance your passion for all things Kiss and simultaneously take the piss out of all of them at the same time. The Ace impressions are my favorite. The Gene ones also. From Kiss. I love waiting for that one. I also love when I hear what sounds like dead air. Now I realize what it is. It's you guys cracking yourselves up. It gets me every time, and then I start laughing out loud as well. It's infectious. I'm going to track down some Mellow Yellow, grab a couple Roni slices, and keep listening. Thank you, Tom and Zeus, for all you do. I can't wait to hear about Creatures Fest. P.S. Thanks for the awesome hoodie. Yeah.
He just got some merch, apparently, from our merch store on our awesome new website. Shout It Out Loudcast.com. Go check it out.
And that is Mr. Rudy Doth. Rudy, amazing email. Thank you so much for discovering us and being a big fan. We appreciate it, Rudy. And for that, you are comment of the week.
Good answer. Good answer. I like the way you think. I'm going to be watching you.
And all you guys are comments of the week, technically, for in my heart, in Tom's, because you guys, the feedback was awesome. Hope we can keep it up as much as we can in the future. But thank you guys for interacting with us. We really appreciate it. And thank you for, once again, getting us record number stuff because of the feedback in this Loudcasters community. Much appreciated.
Yeah, it's amazing. You guys rock. And before we move on, we're going to stop for a minute and talk about one of our amazing sponsors, boldfoot.com, boldfoot.com, 100% American-made socks. And they are awesome. Zeus has a pair of them. They got wild designs, all different colors and prints. They are grown here, sewn here. That is their motto. And what's even better, they're family and veteran owned, and 5% of all the proceeds go to veterans charities. It's a great company. They make fun products. And what's better than a family and a veteran-owned business, American-made, with proceeds that go to a veterans charity? Please check them out, boldfoot.com. Very cool stuff.
They're not as cool as my socks that I wear when I watch Creature Double Feature. And
my favorite is Godzilla versus Mothra. It scares me. Sometimes I have to keep the lights on.
I once flew Mothra back to Jandel because I got kicked off a JetBlue fight for pissing my pants.
Creatures Fest? What the fuck are we doing here in Nashville?
I know you two fuckos. You're the fuckos that do impressions of me.
Dude, he's
no, that's other guys.
Yeah, right. That's right.
That's other kids.
Nice.
Anyway, Tom, we were talking about our listeners and everybody, and we're thanking them for all that they do for us. But the people that we always like to give a special shout out to is our Patreon subscribers. And that's the guys that come in and donate and help out the show. And we can't thank them enough. With that, they get some little trinkets and things from us for the different tiers that we offer. So it goes as low as the Catman tier all the way up to the Demon tier. If you're interested, take a look, see what each tier offers, see if that interests you. Come join the family. We have a ton of stuff we can offer for you. We have a ton of fun in our community between the comments and the messages that we're all giving each other, the drink socials that we do, the merch that we give out, the polls that we do, the show interaction, the show input that we allow. All that stuff is part of Patreon. So if you're interested in that and you want to help the show and say, hey, these fuckos crack me up, I want to have more of that shit, come help the show out. We greatly appreciate it. It's a big help to us. And you'll see, because when we go on this trip for Creatures Fest, we're using the gear and stuff that you guys at Patreon have helped us with. So much kudos to you guys. We couldn't have been here without you guys. So thank you, Patreon. And if anybody else wants to subscribe and join or look up Patreon, you go to the website, shoutitoutloudcast.com, You see the Patreon button right there, or you can go to patreon.com or actually the app Patreon. You look under creators, Shout It Out Loudcast. You find us. You find something you like, you subscribe and be part of the fun. Coming up at some point this month will be the Patreon's album review crew pick.
Oh boy.
You want to be part of that? Come join the fun. So, Patreon, thank you guys.
You guys are the best. We can't say it enough. Zeus has said it. We say it every week. We can't thank you guys enough for your graciousness, your gratitude, what you're doing for the show, contributing to help us grow and continue to keep the show going. We love it, and we thank you guys. We honor you. We thank you. And ARC is coming up soon, and it's going to be an interesting one. Let's see what everybody thinks. It's going to be fun, and you could be part of that. Every fourth album review, we got ARC in May, then you got me in June. Then it swings back around to Zeus and Sonny, and then back to ARC, and you guys are part of that. So we thank you guys. So please check it out, patreon.com, or download the app.
Tom, what we do next, we skip on over to Kiss World. Find out what's going on over there.
All right. We're recording on Thursday, May 19th. Today is the 30th anniversary of Revenge. Incredible. I cannot believe fucking 30 years gone like that. Totally ridiculous. And of course, Kiss, as they do with these anniversaries, they put out a whole line of merch. And as always, I'm first in line with all the other Kiss tards to get it. I got my Revenge shirt, my friggin' colored vinyl like a bozo. But we had the great Bruce Kulick was on Eddie Trunk's show on Sirius XM Volume. He was on this afternoon talking about the album and the history of it, making it. It was great. And of course, if you missed our 100th episode with Bruce Kulick and Chris Jericho, Bruce talks about all these songs. So if you're interested in some Revenge, you can listen to that. And you can also listen to our previous episode where we review the Revenge album. So big day for me, especially it's one of my all-time favorites. I know Zeus obviously is a huge fan of Revenge. But yeah, that was a big one today. And also another thing that came out today was a horrific clip from that new movie Spinning Gold, which is the Casablanca story. Oh my Lord. Eddie Trunk was talking about this again, also on his show. We posted a lot of comments on it. It's got the band playing rock and roll all night. They look great. They got the Kiss logo, but clearly there's an issue with licensing the makeup designs. They look like dollar store Kiss. It's horrible. It's really bad. And I really hope they can figure this out before the movie is actually made. But I think this is almost a trailer they released. It looks really, really bad.
I don't want to go off on a tangent. However, I always get upset that people over a couple bucks don't look back and go, you know what? In history, someone's going to look back and be like, why didn't they just fucking do this?
Yeah.
So things like, they didn't want to pay Clemenza more money, so he's not in Godfather 2.
Yep.
They didn't want to pay Robert Duvall. You mean to tell me Robert Duvall and Tom Hagen wouldn't have made Godfather 3 better?
Well, wait a minute. That means we wouldn't have had George Hamilton.
No, wait. We had a deal. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, Georgie.
Okay. Zorro the gay blade.
That's right.
Things like that. It just, we're going to do this thing. We're going to get these actors. We're going to do this. Looks awesome stuff. But we won't pay for the licensing for the fucking makeup. Just fucking do it.
It looks ridiculous. If you guys haven't checked out the clip, we shared it on our social media. I'm sure you'll see it around it. The scene is great. It's like Neil and all them walking in to the place Rock and Roll All Night's playing. The actors look awesome. They're doing the movements. It's got the costumes. It looks good. But then everybody, they even fucked up Paul's star. They had to make that look different. But the Gene makeup, he literally looks like that Scooby-Doo character. It's fucking awful. And I'm really surprised that there are more people that aren't like, this is fucking horribly laughable.
617-366-0850. Yeah, I mean, Tom, I just think that, I guess if the movie is good all the way through and just the makeup, then they can overcome it. But it'll always be, yeah, but they didn't have the makeup.
Yeah.
It'll always be said, no matter what they do or how good this movie is. Now, if the movie isn't that good at all, holy shit, the makeup's going to make it look like a B movie way more.
So we got a great comment on Twitter. We shared it. Somebody goes, "Oh, this looks like this is directly going to Reels." and then somebody goes, "As long as we get more Dr. Judy Ho." Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, when the movie comes out, we'll see it. We'll talk about it, but hopefully that can be overcome. Of course, the Kiss tards like us are looking at it, but the other people who are going to see the movie that don't know who Kiss is or don't care about it's not going to bother them, but it bothers us because we get bothered by Kiss.
Yeah, we're Kiss tards. That's what we
That's
are.
right. That's right. Other than that, Kiss has been touring. They're doing a couple stints in the U.S. We've seen some people sharing pictures, which was awesome. Our buddy Gary Capp posted some great pictures. Our buddy Joe Papalato posted some pictures from him taking a road trip to see them. Our buddy Sonny Pooney, he saw them. So people are enjoying the show. A couple of the shows here, they don't have the pods. I read something that the pod, because this stop is kind of short for some makeup dates, that they didn't really travel with the pods because they're still over in Europe or wherever when they go back. I don't know, but no set list changes, no nothing, but people are saying that they're sounding great.
Yeah. Again, though, set list, but we're not going to do that. We're not. Anyways.
Yeah.
So the other thing, Tom, is Gene came out in a bathrobe during sound check and then flashed his ass at people on the way out. God bless him. I think that's fucking hilarious. That's awesome. Who the fuck has a problem with that shit? Like,
first of all, it's a sound check. I don't know what he could have worn or what he should have worn. I think coming out in a bathrobe is fucking entertaining. And I think it just shows the funny, stupid side of Gene. I mean, what was he supposed to come out with? Like dress like the Revenge Tour or Hot in the Shade with jeans and cowboy boots? I mean, I don't know. I fail to see the issue with that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of butt hurt about Kiss. I can't afford it, or this is the bad for him. We'll save it for a Talk to Me episode.
Believe me, we will.
There's a lot of fucking whining that goes on. We've always had it, but it just seems like there's a lot more of it going on right now. A lot of it.
And it's different than like the typical like bitching, like kind of the funny tongue-in-cheek bitching that we do on the show. It's literally turning into like a big fucking wine fest, and I don't get it.
Woe is me.
I don't get it.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's a really weird dynamic we're seeing out there in Kiss world.
Just as you'll hear in this interview coming up, if you fucking can't have fun listening to Kiss music, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. If Kiss is like making you upset, like legitimately upset, then that's a you problem. That's not a Kiss problem.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Tom, I'm excited about this week's guest, but before we get to them, I'm gonna go check on Ted Sarandis and see if we can have a little bit more retractable roof talk, and if we can maybe get Jordan Karan to come sit with us and hear what the guys and gals over at AAF have to say.
Hey, how are you? We're back.
Well, I thought you were at the hot dog safari.
Hey, you never know. Jambalaya, baby.
Hey,
we're doing
caller, I happen to know who Joe O'Donnell is.
We're doing so much inside Boston shit. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, speaking of that, we say this a couple times with these guys. This is local legends for us. These two, Mistress Carrie and Mike Hsu, they're both on the Pike, which is a radio station here in Worcester, in Massachusetts. Not Worcester, Worcester. And it's not in Leominster.
Yes,
Leominster. And it's not Leicester, it's Leicester. These are towns in Massachusetts. Regardless, we are fortunate to get these guys a plethora of knowledge of music, tons of fun. I got to meet Mike the other day at the Worcester Red Sox game, and I was like, this guy is so down to earth, knows so much about music, such a funny fuck. And Mistress Carrie is already a fucking legend. I got to meet Mistress Carrie when Eric Martin's band came to play, and Casada is in Eric Martin's band. It's like, hey, come meet me. And so I went to meet him backstage and hung out with Joey and got me my VIP. In other words, I got to drink with him at the bar. And I'm like, I look over and who's that purple head lady? I'm like, can't miss her. And it was Mistress Carrie. And we are lucky to have them be with us on the Pantheon Podcast Network. They know Kiss. They love Kiss. And, it's a little bit of a wish list for us. We wanted to have them on for us. Give us a little bit of personal privilege, but we think you guys are going to love it.
Yeah. Again, legends in the Boston radio world. And now we're lucky enough to have them on Pantheon. And they do a radio show out in Worcester, like Zeus said. They'll describe to you near the end. They do some plugs. If you guys like what you're hearing, they're both hilarious, fired up, energetic, love rock, love music. We get into a bunch of funny things. We talk about Kiss, new music. Me and Mike have a little Rush love fest for a few minutes too, which is funny.
Yeah, I jumped in on that too.
Yeah, we know you did. But you guys, we think you guys are gonna have a good time. It's just 4 people talking about music, focusing on Kiss, but talking about some other stuff. We think you guys will have a fun time listening.
And here it is.
All right, so this week we are excited to announce that we have 2 Boston radio legends here and also 2 members of the Pantheon Podcast family, formerly of WAAF 107.3 in Boston. Mistress Carrie and Mike Hsu. Mistress Carrie, currently the host of the Mistress Carrie Podcast on Pantheon Podcast Network, and Mike Hsu, currently the host of the Long May You Young, Neil Young-centric podcast, also on Pantheon Podcast. They're here right now to talk about Kiss and everything else. Guys, welcome. This is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Hi, guys.
This is a Kiss podcast.
Sorry.
I was told this was a Rush podcast.
Wow. Oh, yes. Let's do it, Mike.
This was Rush.
Yeah,
Mike, let's do it.
This is a bait and switch.
Let's. If you want us to be a Rush podcast, me and you right now, let's do it.
No way, man. Let's do Kiss, man.
All right.
Come on.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, I got to meet Mike the other day. My kid was playing at the Woo Sox. Sorry, I got to say it correctly, right?
That's right.
And Mike always puts up stuff on social media. He's always in the area. He's like the mayor of Worcester, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mayor of Worcester Food and Weed. That's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
And ultimate frisbee.
Yes. That's disc golf, man. Say it right.
I'm sorry. Oh,
They're not frisbees. They're discs. Come on, man.
And I got to share a beer. We got a little photo op. Got a chance to talk. And this has been a thing of ours for a while. When we originally talked to you about 1.5 years ago, when you were thinking about joining Pantheon,
Yep.
I think we connected a long time ago.
Well, I wanted to make sure they were legit. And I talked to you guys.
I don't know if they are.
After talking to you, I couldn't figure out if they were legit or not, but I'm like, wow, that Kiss podcast sounds cool. So.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, thank you. We still can't figure out if they're legit, but they are.
Yeah, we've been here for a few years.
Oh, so it's you guys I can blame because I called Mike to see if they were legit, and he was like, "Yeah," and it's because you guys. So there you go.
There you go.
There's a few people in Pantheon that we've connected, and I don't know if they hate us or love us for doing it, but it's a one big happy family, right?
That's right.
So for us, and Tom a little bit more than me because he's got a longer commute. You have no idea when we first talked to Mike and he was talking about you guys probably coming on, how much fanboying Tom was doing.
Oh, I was fanboying.
Not any of our guests other that we've had on the show and stuff. It was holy shit.
We spent so much time listening to you guys. It was amazing. AAF. I mean, I know our our listeners who are from all over the world, they probably don't know what the hell we're talking about, but in terms of rock radio, I mean, it was WAAF. It was, I mean, you had ZLX, the classic rock station, but AAF did it all. Whenever there was a big band coming to town, I mean, you guys converted to grunge, but you still played metal and classic rock. It was the GOAT station. It was a horrible day when it ended.
Yeah, there are some cities that are lucky enough to still have that like legacy rock station.
Yeah.
And there's only a few of them left in the States that, you know, that have a station that's been on for say 50 years, that's been a rock station the whole time. AAF was that station in Boston. And, you know, we kind of found a way to ride every music trend. You know, whether it be, you know, the 60s, 70s stuff, getting into the 80s hair stuff, you know, transitioning to grunge was a hard transition for a lot of stations. Then, you know, spearheading for better or worse, a lot of that new metal stuff, which there was a lot of great music that came out in the mid to late 90s. And then getting into the aughts, it's like, you know, AAF was always finding a way to kind of hold on to the best of the old stuff while being able to kind of introduce you to new stuff. And it's sad that it's gone.
Yeah.
No tears. No tears.
Yeah. No, there's no crying on the Shout It Out Loud podcast.
Sorry.
No.
Hey, Tom, we got another one.
And
Loudcast.
Oh yeah, Zeus loves to nitpick when people call it the Shout It Out Loud podcast.
Because I
sorry.
originally said that, and he was like, no, we're going to call it Loudcast.
Right. I'll try to stay on brand. I'm sorry.
Stay on brand, God
This
damn
is
it.
more of a Tom thing. I want to give him shit.
Whoa, it's not me. Why are you blaming me for everything?
But it's all good. And you know what? AAF, I always found that there was this type of listener in Boston. AAF guys and the BCN guys. You guys were fucking way better.
Oh,
and
not even
we
close.
talked about this a little bit, Mike.
Yep.
We were saying
Yeah.
that they're like the Rolling Stone magazine fucking listeners over there.
Right.
You guys
And listen,
are the fun rock music.
I love BCN, and I interned. My first internship was with Charles Lacodera on the Big Mattress, and you know, I love BCN. I listened to it when I was a kid and stuff. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There were like the BCN listeners, and they were, you know, that was Boston centric and stuff. AAF listeners were everywhere else.
That's right.
You know, Metro West. They were up Route 2. They were down 495. They were Southern New Hampshire. They were Rhode Island until you got to the bridge to Newport, you know, and it was the, you know, the people that really loved rock music and really didn't belong to really any, for lack of a better word, it was like the misfits.
Yeah.
I guess
agree.
you could say. It was the people that like loved rock music and had an attitude about it.
That's right.
You know, and there was a place for everybody to kind of congregate. And I always say when I talk about AAF, the listeners were also like part of the staff almost. We had like just insane, passionate listeners. When I came from Richmond, Virginia, I was working there. And then I came up here to work at AAF, and I was afraid of the listeners. I was like, these people are insane. Because it's Richmond, Virginia, everything's kind of chill and it moves at a slow pace. And I come up here and it's just like, you know, we're going to eat your flesh if you don't play Seven Dust. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Holy shit, man.
It all depended on where you grew up, right, Mike? Like, because you grew up in Natick, you were on that line sandwiched in between.
Right.
I grew up in Leominster. So not only was I close to Worcester, but if I listened to BCN, which when I moved to Boston to go to school, all they did was talk shit about the people from the suburbs where I grew up.
Oh, yes.
And
That's
so
right.
Why would I want to grow up and listen to that station when I was the butt of their jokes all the time? So to me, you know, like Mike's like, oh, well, I was a fan of BCN too. Fuck those guys to this. Hate was real because I grew up like the punchline of their jokes, like the city kids were the cool kids and the suburb kids were just these, you know, redneck, toothless, trailer park trash. And it was like, no, we're not. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's only some of us, right? I mean, yeah, there was the rest of us that hung out at the malls or behind Building 19 smoking weed and stuff like that. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. There was this elitist attitude. And I really didn't notice it back when I was growing up in Natick, but when I moved back and it was more defined and there was it was a war. And so, yeah, that was like the point of BCN. It was like, these people are just like hokey idiots, you know, and we're from Boston, and nothing wrong with Boston. I love Boston.
No, me too.
But it's just kind of like, don't talk down to me just because, you know, I like listening to, you know, Extreme or
Kiss.
or Kiss or whatever they're not
Which
playing.
Yeah.
You know, which was funny later on because they would rip us for playing Godsmack, and then who's playing Godsmack a few months later, right?
That's right.
Suburb kids too, if you want to consider Lawrence a suburb, but and Stain came from Springfield, so it's not like Boston had that time where like Jay Giles, Aerosmith, but all of that late 90s 2000 music that was coming out of this region was coming out of the suburbs.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yep. It was
And
awesome.
that's one of the other sad things about AAF going away. It was really the last rock station to play new rock music.
Exactly.
You know,
It was-
and thanks to people like Carrie and people like Ron Valeri and Dave Douglas, you know, they embraced that, and they brought in bands like Stained, you know, and Korn, and then like later Keith Hastings let me play Shadows Fall on the air and Killswitch Engage and all that other great stuff, you know, in the metal and hardcore scene.
yeah, all those guys from Mass. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Nice.
it's kind of bad that, you know, like the Pike, Chuck Perks is taking some chances, and he's playing Dirty Honey and some other stuff, you know, and he's slowly working that stuff in. But
Part of Van Fleet in there, and
yeah, right.
there's some bits of stuff coming in. But there are people that have been listening to the Pike for, you know, however long, to over a decade that it's been on the air.
Yeah.
And so they don't just want to scare the hell out of everybody by letting me and Mike in the door. And
I know, right?
eat them in. You don't throw a frog into boiling water. You just turn up the temp a little bit at a time.
That's exactly right. Right.
But our podcast is a little bit like that divide between BCN and AAF. I know we're getting really local here, but like Kiss is something that BCN, that's not on their radar. Like that was a joke.
Ever.
Right.
They're too
in
busy
the 90s,
playing.
it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they're too busy. I don't know, the fucking Smithereens and Del Fuegos and shit like that.
Whoa.
You're like, oh, it's so critical. I don't
I'm
know.
a
It may be
huge Del
buddies of yours.
Fuegos fan. I'll drive out to Southborough and punch you in the face.
You ain't
Del
doing
Fuego's podcast coming up next.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a
But
Del Fuegos
you
podcast.
get the point.
Yeah, I
it's
understand
those
what you're
bands.
saying.
But when
Yeah.
they hear metal and all that, you know, no one likes calling it hair metal. But when that came on and that was the music from like 86 to 91, you ain't hearing that in BCN, no matter how MTV had the number one videos, it was top 10 hits. You're still not hearing those songs on BCN. They acted like that wasn't even around. AAF, you got that. And
That's
then
right.
all of a sudden grunge came in. You got that from AAF. Like that's the difference. And bands like that we like, Kiss and other bands like that, even Bon Jovi and stuff, that was the divide. And I'm sure a lot of people listening know those radio stations in their hometown that had that kind of snob Rolling Stone mentality. About
Right.
bands.
Right. The one thing I know when I first started working at AAF, actually when I came up to interview and I listened to AAF, they would play the hair metal next to the grunge, next to the classic rock, next to like the Beastie Boys.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is amazing. Like this is amazing that they're playing all the and it for some, I don't know how, it flowed.
Yep.
You know, because very few people, I should say, don't just like one kind of music. You know, like with some, they don't just like hair metal. They just don't like, you know, just classic rock. They, you know, everybody likes whatever they like, whatever sounds good to them. And, you know, I love that about AAF, that they took a chance on playing all that stuff mixed up together.
Yep.
Well, time to get into our Murph questions. And these are our questions that we ask all our guests. And they're named after Tom's roommate. We all went to college together. And it's pretty simple. Start with Mistress Carrie.
Oh,
Who's your
God.
favorite Kiss member?
I'm glad she's going first so I can think about these.
Growing up
Yeah. It could be growing up. It could be right now if you met them or anything.
Growing up when I was a kid, I'm gonna go back that far, and I am digging to find a picture to prove that I was a Kiss fan as a kid, because I have a picture that'll make you guys laugh. Growing up, I thought Peter Criss was the coolest.
That's Zeus's. That's Zeus's, man.
Oh, I
Like,
love Peter.
growing up, the cat, the drummer, I just thought he was so friggin' cool. I loved the band in general because I had those cool aunts that were a little older than me, you know, that I was a kid and they were teenagers. And so I kind of got exposed to, they're the ones that exposed me to Kiss in the first place. But I'm going Peter Criss.
All right, Mike.
I'd have to say Vinnie Vincent. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. No,
Go for it. Go for it, man.
I was never a huge Vinnie Vincent fan, but Ace has always been my man.
Of course.
That was like his solo album was the best. You know, the perform. We can have words.
You're part of what we've deemed the Ace cult.
Yeah, you're part of the Ace cult.
I am. I think the version of Shock Me on Alive 2 is friggin' amazing.
Agreed.
You know, he had smoke coming out of his guitar. He shot rockets out of it. I mean, I just love that because I heard Kiss very early. Like I was like 8 and I used to spend summers with my grandparents in Pennsylvania, and I had a lot of cousins, and that's how I pretty much got into rock music because they were all older than me. And my cousin Brian, huge Kiss fan, always playing it. And I was just drawn to Ace. You know, that was just, plus I'm a sci-fi nerd. So the whole space thing.
Perfect.
You know, I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm just like, so I'm drawn to the whole, space thing about him. But yeah, he's the guy.
Okay. I like it.
Ace Frehley. Hey,
Shut up, you.
Fucking doing? All right. Easy. Kiss song.
Oh.
It could be, you know how things work. You right now or the song growing up. It doesn't matter. What's your favorite Kiss song?
That's a tough one, man, because there's so many good ones.
See, that's the right answer, Mike.
Yeah, there are.
Off the top of your head, if you had to listen to one right now.
You go first, Carrie. I'm scared.
I'm gonna go from a professional standpoint.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say that by any measurable criteria, Rock and Roll All Night is their best song because it's their biggest song. It is huge, omnipresent in rock and roll. You can't get away from it even if you tried. And I think every band, if they went up on stage and you said, play a Kiss song right now, that would be the one that every band member would be able to play. And so to me, as far as social impact, not musical ability, not songwriting, not any of that stuff, but song that defines a band's career, I'm going there.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Yeah, well put. Defines the band's career. Yeah. I'm going to go a little more esoteric.
Oh, wait, hold on, Mike. Hold on.
Big word alert. Big word alert on the show.
Hold on.
We have
to do down.
Marty has to show off how
we have to do the big word alert for our listeners. They're not very bright.
I told you we got a lot of Kiss tards that listen to us. You got to be careful. You got to dumb it down.
So can you explain to our listeners what esoteric means?
I'm gonna go some that's just a lot of more meaning just to me alone.
Perfect. Okay. There you go. You guys got that? Okay, thanks.
For personal reasons. Okay. It's kind of a toss-up, all right, between Do You Love Me?
Yeah.
Because that's just like the rock star song. That's unabashed. I'm a rock star. Fuck you. I'm getting laid in a limousine tonight.
Plus, one of the greatest intros to any rock song ever.
Absolutely. Yep. And then that whole gigantic orchestral ending, you know, the crescendo and the church chimes and stuff. I love that shit, man. That's awesome.
Love it.
And then, no, fuck it. That one. Do You Love Me?
Have you seen them on the end of the road when they play the song? That's when they have the montage at the end with with all the stuff going off. They'll show them in Cadillac, Michigan, and all that. It's fucking awesome.
They should show a montage of all the women they've had sex with. And then it would be a 20-minut fucking version.
It would be longer than the show.
It would. It would be longer than their friggin' farewell tour.
I don't think you want to see the ones Gene had sex with.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They wouldn't all be hot.
Yeah. No.
Hey.
They're numbers. They weren't going quality. They were
not Gene.
Their numbers. They can't all be hot.
Yeah. See? No. But isn't that nice? They find beauty in all women.
Oh, my God.
Listen, Mike, it's okay.
I think that's lovely.
This is a Kiss podcast. This is not a Neil Young heightened intellect podcast.
Listen, man, the Village Voice said this about Neil Young in 1968, just as he was getting to release his first solo album.
Okay.
They said, they didn't say it, but his record company put out an ad and it said, Neil Young is not sexy.
He's not what you would call a sexy man.
No, he's not like, Neil Young never wrote a song like Room Service, right? You know?
Neil Young is married to Madison the Mermaid, okay?
Right, that's true. That's true.
But I think the funny thing, Mike, is that the record company had to make sure that people knew he wasn't sexy, as if they might think that he was if they didn't say that.
They were
Well, you know,
confused.
You think Neil Young's sexy? That's cool. I don't want.
Oh no, I
judge.
don't.
Well, I'm just saying, whoever, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
Something's going to float everybody's boat.
That's
If it-
right.
Point. It's a great point. Zeus, what's next, buddy? What do we
All
got?
right. Kiss album.
Oh yeah, come on. I love getting into arguments with this.
I think we already know Mike's.
Could be.
Yeah.
Ace Frehley.
Why do you hate Ace?
I
No. We love
don't.
Ace.
He's like comedy, like genius, like the stuff that he does
yeah.
in his character. He's hilarious.
By
Plus,
far the best.
We saw him in Boston last September, and he came out and he does these covers albums that he does, Origins Volumes 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
Hearing Ace trying to sing Led Zeppelin, I mean, get the fuck out of here! Brutal,
Ooh,
just
yeah.
brutal.
Many years since I was here.
And then Good Times,
Oh,
Bad
shit.
Times. Oh, just brutal.
Good times, bad times. That was fantastic. Huh?
Brutal.
In the days of my youth. Sound like fucking Bob Kraft singing a song. Yeah, come
All right.
on. What's your favorite album? It's got to be easy, right?
You're going to make me go first again?
You want me to? I'll go first.
No,
It's
go
got-
ahead.
Okay, it's purely for nostalgia reasons. I think it's still their greatest album, and that's Destroyer.
Okay. All
You know,
right.
it's kind of like the first album that I really listened to from them. Like I said, it was my cousin Brian.
Yeah.
He was playing it all the time. I just remember staring at the album cover
Mm-hmm.
and that was the great thing about vinyl, and still is. You know, when you're listening, you're sitting there and you're either looking at the album cover, looking at the credits, reading the lyrics, whatever it is.
Yep.
But it was just, it was like these guys, and there was nothing but burning ruins behind them. And I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? They just destroyed the earth with their rock. And
right.
I found that fascinating. Plus the songs like Sweet Pain and, Detroit Rock City and all, it was just great music. So I still go back to that one a lot.
Okay. Carrie.
For a different reason, I'm going to say Kiss Alive.
Ooh, all right. Okay.
And I say that because it is extreme. I had this conversation with Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick on my podcast.
Wow.
Okay.
It is extremely difficult to capture the essence of a band live on an album.
Mm.
And it's only been done a few times that I can name, right? So you got Cheap Trick at the Budokan.
Awesome album.
You got Frampton Comes Alive.
Yep.
And I think Kiss Alive. Like, what other live albums are actually really good to the point where it sounds good, where you actually want to listen to it more than the studio records?
Rush's Exit Stage Left is
Yes,
probably
Mike.
their masterpiece and greatest live performance ever. Thank you very much.
Does Geddy Lee sing on that album?
I'm
Shut
gonna
your
punch
mouth.
you in the face.
By the way, quick Rush segue if I can, because Mike's a fan. Mike, if you've gotten the 40th anniversary box set of Moving Pictures, they released a double LP of that tour. It will replace anything you've ever listened to on Exit
really?
Stage Left. It is beyond fantastic. That's my Rush
excellent.
comment. We'll get back.
Okay.
I never
Okay.
have anybody to talk to about Rush.
That's all right, buddy. The only thing I would add, though, Carrie, I would add all the Unplugged albums that came out in the 90s. I love Alice in Chains Unplugged. I love Nirvana. I love Kiss. Kiss is Unplugged. Like, those
Yeah,
were
they were
something
good Unplugged.
unique. that
5
came
Man
out during those-
Acoustical Jam, Tesla.
Oh,
Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah, that
It kind of started all that stuff, too.
That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. Those are fantastic.
And that was because of AAF, you know.
That's right.
Oh, tell us.
Tell us.
Jeff Keith was on my podcast
Okay.
recently, and I said, I heard a rumor that came out because of AAF. He told me the story. They were on tour with Motley Crue. They had a day off in Philly. So they hired a 24-track mobile studio truck to go and record them playing a whole acoustic show. They recorded it, saved it, put it on the shelf, did nothing with it for like 6 months. And then they came to WAAF, played acoustic in the studio, played Signs. The phones went off the chain.
Wow.
the label was like, we got to do something. And the band was like, we have a whole concert, acoustic, recorded, that's in the can already. It's right there. He said the label wanted to make some changes. The band said no. And 5-Man Acoustical Jam is an entire one-take live performance of them recording in Philly on an off night from the Motley Crue tour. But they never would have released that album if it was not for the passion of the AAF fans demanding it after an in-studio acoustic performance.
Wow, that is fantastic.
Can I
awesome.
add two things to that? One,
Please do.
I heard that on the radio. I heard that performance live on the radio. My dad had to go to Grossman's Hardware in Wellesley.
Yeah, Grossman's.
Right? Grossman's. You remember that with the orange and yellow stripe?
My dad went there every Saturday.
Right. Yeah. It's a hardware store. So I didn't want to go in. I stayed in the car and I was listening to AAF and I heard that live and I was like, that's pretty good. Who are these guys? And so that got me into Tesla right there. Two, that same thing happened on Mistress Carrie's show on AAF with Shinedown and their cover of Simple Man.
Oh my God. Unbelievable cover. Fantastic. Holy shit.
Listeners went crazy. Their fans went crazy. They tried to release something similar, an acoustic performance on a re-release of what is it? Leave a Whisper.
Yeah.
It's good, but not as good as that particular performance, which was phenomenal. I was very lucky to be there that day, and that happened on her program. So that happened twice on AAF.
Nice. Bravo.
And then you go back and think about some of the acoustic performances that we had, iconic, like Zakk Wylde, Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, yeah.
Anthrax did one acoustic performance ever in their career in the studio on AAF.
What song?
They did did they do
I'm the man.
Antisocial?
How do you do Antisocial unplugged?
It was amazing, dude. It was awesome.
Wow.
This is with John Bush, the John Bush era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll ask Charlie next time we talk.
That's right. We've had Charlie on the show too. So we'll ask him. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
And then it was in the time when Anthrax was being weaponized and there was actually like people trying to cover the ground that the band should change their name.
Yep.
Because we brought surgical masks, and in the picture that we have in the studio, they all had like surgical masks on. It's really funny.
Nice.
Wow.
Priest did an acoustic
Right.
performance, and they did Diamonds in Rust, and it is flawless.
Wow.
We had some unbelievable performances from some artists that they were like, we won't do this anywhere else, but we'll do it for you guys.
So when did STP come on and do that?
That was 90. Was that 99 or 2000?
I think maybe 2000. I was doing nights at the time.
Yeah, it was Huntington Ave. We had just moved to Huntington Ave, and that was a big day because Ozone, John Osterlin,
love that guy.
Yeah, he's great. Ozone. He had 3 bands play live on his show that day. These 2 relatively unknown little bands. One was called 3 Doors Down, and then another band came on called Nickelback.
Wow.
Both of those bands came on because they were playing our Halloween show at the Roxy that year or that night. I think.
Roxy.
Yeah, the Roxy.
Did anybody get stabbed?
The night that Chad Kruger rubbed my feet during the interview backstage at the venue. I have a picture of it.
You got a lot of feet stories. It's kind of weird. I don't want to give, I'll let you, I don't want to.
Go ahead. But yeah.
But then STP came in. The great, I love this story. This is classic John Osterlin. So they're kind of walking around the hallways and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Scott Weiland's just wandering around the hallway in this radio station, the guys at EEI were just like, who's this friggin' freak walking in our hallways? So the manager for STP comes in and he talks to John and he's like, listen, this is when Scott Weiland just got out of jail. It was like months before that or something. He's like, listen, don't ask him any questions about jail.
Oh my God. I know.
Right. And don't ask him any questions about drugs.
Oh no.
And John's like, yeah, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Okay. So they're all sitting down. John cracks the mic. It's like STP's here in the ozone. And Scott, I want to ask you, is jail a good place to kick drugs? And Scott, what you know what? This is a typical manager thing. Scott Weiland was like, "Well, no, not really," and I'll tell you why. And he was really great. He gave a great answer for it. But that's what a manager does. You know, the manager is supposed to be the asshole. You know, and so, but it was just great. It was like right after he told him that, John was just like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem."
Literally 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was great.
We're still hanging in those cartoon bubbles in the air, and Ozone was like,
"Oh yeah." My butthole clenched. Because I thought that he was going to like walk out. The whole band was going to walk out. But
so wait a minute. You guys, I forgot. You guys shared shit with EEI, didn't you?
Oh, they were down the hall from us for a long time. Yeah.
Hey, how are ya?
Well, we shared stuff with them. They never shared fucking shit with us. I'll tell you
Sure.
that right
I
now.
believe it.
Yeah. Some of those old EEI characters have made it onto our show.
Oh yeah.
And they become characters of their own on this.
Although
just for the record.
I got to speak up for Dale Arnold. Dale Arnold was always wicked nice to us.
Oh, yeah. He's a nice guy. He's harmless. He's like somebody's nice uncle.
Right. Glenn Ordway was nice to us, too.
Yeah.
No, we're talking Eddie Endelman's made a couple appearances on our show. And Ted Sarandis. Talking about retractable roof talk.
Ted Nation.
And dodging debris and all that other shit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they make we got people listening in Australia and be like, what the fuck? Who's Ted Sarandis?
Hey, they can listen online.
Yeah,
that's true.
They'll figure it out. Oh yeah, we have some questions we didn't finish yet.
Okay.
How many Kiss concerts have you guys gone to?
As a fan, not like as like a not as like a radio
altogether.
person. Yeah,
well, that would be the same thing. You know, I mean, it's like just because it was work. I don't think I ever had to work a Kiss show, but you know, it doesn't mean I wasn't hanging out watching the show. Let me hold on a second. There's one.
Did you do show prep and write down how many you went to?
No, I'm going through my head and I got to write down like hash marks because I can't count and think and talk all at the same time. I'm not.
We're asking Mike to do way too much right now.
It's like math.
Yeah, we have other musicians. I'll just say 10, 15, 20. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's
about 10.
10?
Carrie, about 10?
Yeah.
I'd say like 5.
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
What was your first one? Do you guys remember what tour?
Yeah. Mine was the first reunion tour.
96.
Okay.
Yeah.
96.
I saw him in Richmond. Virginia.
Yeah.
Friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. When Paul got lifted up during Love Gun, great rock star moment at the Richmond Coliseum. It was fantastic.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Carrie, do you remember your first one?
I know it was at the
tour.
Yeah.
I know it was at the Worcester Centrum, and I'm trying to think. So I went to my concert in 86, like first concert ever, 86. So I'm trying to remember, like
Asylum.
That would have been
Asylum tour.
That would have been the Asylum tour if you were seeing Kiss in 86.
No, it wasn't in 86. I went to my first concert.
Okay.
So maybe 87.
Crazy Nights.
Crazy Nights. We just did that episode. Yeah. All right. Last one. Favorite Kiss memory. And that could be anything, you know, buying Destroyer, meeting Gene, taking care of Paul in the bathroom, whatever.
Gene was their best Kiss memory.
What?
I said, has anybody ever said meeting Gene is their best Kiss memory?
I think so. I think so.
Actually, my best Kiss memory, and I tried so hard, Zeus, to find that recording I was talking about.
Yes.
But Odyssey, formerly Intercom, had taken it all down, and I can't really tell you where it is. But we were broadcasting live at the Sam Adams, I think it was called the Summer Jam. They used to do it every it was like Memorial Day weekend or something. So you broadcast live from the Sam Adams Brewery in Boston.
Yep.
And it's Radio Row. So you got like 20 radio stations there, and we're all set up in the same area, you know, and there's a bunch of morning shows all around going, hey, how's it going? And so this is the Hillman Morning Show. And to me, this is still Greg's finest moment. So Gene Simmons was one of the guests. So they just cart the guests around to each table, you know. So they come to our table and Gene sits down. He's already talked to like 10 other morning shows. So I'm sure he's over it. And I forget what he was promoting, but he sits down and we're talking to him. And 5 minutes in, Greg asked, I forget what question Greg asked him, but then Gene said something like, I don't know, but you should fire the guy who let you wear those shorts here. And Greg was wearing like jorts, you know, and I was like, oh, Jesus. what's going to happen here. And Greg said, well, you should fire the guy who made that toupee for you. Oh, it was great.
Shit.
And so for like 5 minutes, it went back and forth. It's like, well, when was the last time you serviced Paul Stanley? And this guy, and Gene was like, you fat ton of lard. Or, I mean, they were going back and they were
so cringeworthy. I couldn't believe one of them didn't legit get offended.
Oh my God. They were ripping each other hard. And it was, and then it got to the point where other radio stations were like standing around us, watching it go back and forth. And then we're like, all right, Gene Simmons, everyone, we went to commercial. And the first thing Gene did was stand up and shake Greg's hand. He said, that was awesome. He was like psyched. He was like, this is the best one so far. He was like really psyched. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun. And so that's it wasn't a show, but that was my best Kiss related memory.
But see, that is exactly why we love Gene Simmons, because stop for 1 second and imagine Greg Hill doing that with Paul Stanley.
Oh my God.
I can't even imagine.
Holy shit. If someone said anything like that to Paul
Stanley would have been taken out in a straitjacket and brought to Bridgewater if anybody insulted him about anything.
He's what we call a sensitive man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you got to watch what you say.
Sensitive.
Oh,
all of you. You're all sensitive.
Pandemic Paul is
Pandemic
on his own
Paul
fucking that right now.
You guys, that was my favorite thing from this podcast.
Yeah, you told me that.
I love Pandemic Paul.
He's a character.
So funny, so very funny.
He's tapered off a little bit now that he's back on tour and he's kind of getting his life back together. But
right.
But for a while there, he was on his electric bike doing bunny hops. Picking up gelato and being like, woohoo, live to win, gelato.
Just brutal.
I know a lot of musicians that in the beginning fought the lockdown and the vaccines and were all calling me COVID crazy because I was taking precautions. And every musician that I know that actually got it, especially the singers, that in their lungs, even if they don't make public statements about it in private, have gone around and apologized to people and have been humbled by it because it scared the shit out of them that A, they thought they were going to die, and B, they thought that their career was over.
Right. That's a good point. Yep.
Yeah, but Paul doesn't need it because he's got the tape playing in the background.
Be nice. All right. Let's
he's got his other band. He's got a fallback plan.
Oh, please don't even get into that. We reviewed that. We reviewed
Brown act.
We reviewed that album and we surprisingly gave it kudos because Zeus and I both like kind of the soul R&B stuff. But enough with that. That was enough of that.
All right. Did we get Carrie's? We didn't get hers.
Oh yeah. Favorite Kiss memory.
Mine is from a fan perspective, and I've fallen for it. God only knows how many times. But the first time I fell for the farewell tour.
Oh boy.
The first farewell, like they're back together in the farewell tour, and then we were just kidding. And then, but the first farewell tour, me and a bunch of my like oldest and dearest ride or die friends that I went to concerts with in high school, we all got tickets and we made it a night.
Nice.
Like went out, partied ahead of time, all bought the shirts, sang every song because we were in this moment. Like we were saying goodbye to one of the greatest live bands ever, and we're going to do it all together. There was like 20 of us, and we were all in the same section, and we were all hoarse. Like it was amazing, and I was so fucking mad when they decided that we were just kidding. We're gonna, because that moment was like so perfect.
Yeah, I bet you a lot of people.
Yeah,
I bet you a lot of people had that same moment, and they were like, "What the fuck? You guys lied to us."
Spent so much money and just like wanted to have this pure fan moment, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And let's say they quit, then how long would people be like, what the fuck, you're all healthy, come on, come back? They'd be so much.
What happened the next day? Yeah, what happened the next day?
Yeah.
They either way.
I think that it would have taken 2 Gene solo albums to have people start screaming their heads off.
That's
Asshole
right.
Part 2.
Yeah. So tell us. So let's get into. We know that you got your time is limited, and we want to get a couple questions in here because of your history with being involved in bands and tours and rock radio and DJs and everything. Where does Kiss has never been, a radio band? And if they are, you'll hear Rock and Roll Night, and you hear like Detroit Rock City.
Okay,
So they're not
A radio band, though.
But what I mean by that is like
Radio forever.
Right, but what I mean by that is they're not Zeppelin. They're not, they're not those bands where you're hearing, every song, things are celebrated. In your experience, where does Kiss fall in terms of playing them, albums, et cetera, other than those staple hits?
I mean, every band would get, like, every guy in a rock band that's ever tried to write a song would give their left nut to have one Kiss song in their repertoire that they wrote. Like, rock band out there would literally sacrifice the bass player's balls if they could go rock and roll all night. That's our song. Take his nut. Like, to me, I think of them as a radio band.
Yeah, see, I don't because I just think of those two. To me, a radio band is a band that constantly playing songs. It's a big celebration when there's a new song, when there's a new album, when there's a tour. And Kiss just didn't seem to be that band. They seem to be like a legacy act, like, oh, we're going to play Rock and Roll Night, we're going to play Detroit Rock City, and now here's the new album, here's the new thing from
Tom. Let me jump on that. AAF, take you guys out of the picture. What's playing? And when's Kiss on the radio? If we take AAF out, where are you going to hear them?
Maybe
stations.
Yeah, well, maybe ZLX. Of course, you hear old stuff. You want, Kiss. We played, I think the last new stuff AAF played, it was mid 2000s. It was actually really good, Carrie. Do you remember that album? Because I remember we're sitting in the music meeting. We were like, this is like really good. This is awesome.
Sonic Boom?
That may have been
a Monster.
Monster came
Hell
out.
or Hallelujah or Modern Day Delilah is a great song.
Those were great songs.
I remember playing. Didn't we play Modern Day Delilah for a little bit?
It's a great song.
We threw some new Kiss in there for a while. So it was up and through 2000s that we were playing it. I remember we were playing when I first started working there, Psycho Circus came out.
Oh,
and I remember hearing it on the air during Ozone show, again, John Osterland's show. And he aired a call. He played a call that he got saying, "Why are you playing this? It sucks."
Was that Zeus back then?
It was probably me.
This is why I love AAF listeners, because they're just the best. And Ozone was like, well, you know what? I know you think it sucks, and I'm not crazy about it, but you want to throw it out there and then give people give it a chance and see what people think about it. And of course, this doesn't work out that well for the band, but he was like going on this long thing, and but I forget the name of that album. It was like early 2000s, mid 2000s.
That was Sonic Boom.
It's Sonic Boom because I think Monster came out in 2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I remember we played
Sonic Boom was 09, I think.
We played a little bit off of that. But yeah, I mean, they don't get, there's not as many songs as, say, Led Zeppelin or Van Halen.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
But they have a few tunes. That's why I think of them as a radio band too, because it's like Rock and Roll All Night, Detroit Rock City, Lick It Up. I mean, I hear that a lot. Every now and then, Heaven's on Fire.
Yeah.
So they were still cranking out radio friendly new stuff at least through the 80s.
Yeah.
Wasn't I Was Made for Loving You in rotation for a while?
I think I think that's when they were coming around or something. But no, that was like there was some kind of resurgence with Dynasty at some point.
Yeah, like
we threw it on there.
That song being because I mean,
was it in a movie?
It might have been.
I don't know.
No.
And our boss Ron Valeri,
like Kiss was like, "Hey, we're a rock band. Hey, we're gonna try disco."
Right.
Well, in all fairness, there were a lot of gigantic rock bands trying disco.
Yeah,
the Stones,
the
Rod
Stones,
Stewart.
all
they
that
all
stuff.
were doing it.
And then they were like, "We're gonna get into this '80s hair thing," and like they tried a lot of different things. A lot of it didn't work. But I give bands credit for trying stuff and failing rather than just, the only exception is AC/DC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. That's a good point that you bring up, Carrie, because a lot of time what you're giving Kiss credit for is what a lot of times what Kiss gets like blasted for is trying to be disco, hair metal, the Bon Jovi Crazy Nights, and as Kiss fans, we love that. But the detractors are like, oh yeah, Kiss went from a band that set trends to a band that now follow them.
Right. Well, to bring up Neil Young, Neil Young said, it starts getting dangerous when you have to compete with your past. So do you keep making rock and roll all night over and over again? Or as an artist, do you try to innovate and fail forward?
I like
and that's Neil Young's career.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil Young has pissed off his fans like his entire career.
Yeah, he's all over the map with different styles and genres.
He just does whatever the fuck he wants, and he doesn't care because he knows, like, I can't make the Harvest album over and over again.
Right.
Because it'll drive he could, but personally, it'll drive him nuts. So Kiss, and I know Kiss was trying to stay relevant, but at least they, like Carrie said, at least they tried.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the biggest, most innovative rock bands, right? The Beatles comes to mind, like, first, right off the top of my head. Then I think bands like Queen, I think Zeppelin, like the ideas, Bohemian Rhapsody, like that song now, can't imagine the world without it. But if you saw the movie, a 6-minute opera on rock radio, like, that was bonkers of an idea, and people thought they were crazy. And it could have gone so bad. Yeah. Obviously didn't, but could have.
Yeah.
So I look at bands like that because I'm so envious of songwriting and musical ability because I don't have any of it. So to me, if you got a bunch of musicians in a room and they're like, what would it sound like if?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, what would Led Zeppelin sound like if you were writing like a Caribbean, Jamaican kind of thing? That doesn't make any sense, but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but they did it.
That's
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, look at all of the crazy stuff that the Beatles did that now you can go back and watch that docuseries and be like, what?
Yeah.
No, it's great, though. But the thing I always go back to, and people talk about Kiss, and they... they're the punching bag for the elitist rock guys that think Kiss is the joke and all that. But people aren't buying the albums because they're fucking and listening to smoke bombs and shit and stuff go off. They're buying it because the music, because in the end, they write fun, hookish, with great melodies, rock songs that you can get into and have a fucking great time. Right. I've said it a million times on the show. It's my mantra. If I had money to bet in my life and I'm going to die, I want one artist to write a song that I know I will like. I'll give it to Paul Stanley. I know he'll write me a rock song with a fucking catchy chorus, a great melody, 3.5 minutes of fucking total fun. I trust him more than anybody. The guy's been doing it for fucking 50 years.
Yep.
We shit on him about his silliness now that he's older and he's a artist and a Renaissance man. Because he's a painter and he's a philosopher and
he's in a long list of music.
Yeah, he likes to insert himself in the topic of the day to get his name. Oh, Paul Stanley weighed in on this. Oh, did he? Yeah, he's the guy that wrote "Bang Bang You." We don't need to fucking listen to what Paul Stanley weighed in on. But regardless, music-wise, him and Gene Simmons, I'm telling you, those two together, fucking workaholics, perfect for each other, and they made this band last 50 years. And when you talk about, like, who the hell thinks of an opera? Who the hell thinks to dress up in fucking makeup, breathe fire, you fly over here, you shoot things in that, all this stuff that they did. It's amazing.
And they, like, some of the things that they kind of get credit for, like the Beatles invented, like the merch, you know what I mean? Lunch boxes, like, that's Beatles all day long. But
excuse me. That's Elvis all day long.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
True.
Well, we love Elvis.
That's here. Colonel Parker.
Yeah.
But the guys in Kiss did it while maintaining their rock credibility and not being a pop, because the Beatles, at least in the early stages, until like Rubber Soul, were like a pop band.
Oh yeah.
And the same thing with Elvis. He was a pop star. Kiss was able to sell lunch boxes and still have people think they were cool.
Because guys were buying Kiss shit. That's
right.
The difference. Guys wanted to get the Kiss cards, the Kiss lunchbox, the Kiss posters, the Kiss pinball machine. But girls were flocking at Elvis.
You don't get to be successful in rock and roll if only the guys love you, though.
No, but it was guys buying merch as much.
Gotta be girls there. Otherwise, that's what hurt, like, a lot of that new metal stuff in the late 90s.
No girls.
Turned into this sausage fest where you went to these shows and there was not one girl to be found.
The only band to make a career out of having an all-male audience is who, Mike?
That would be Rush. That's
Iron
right.
Maiden. I offer up Iron Maiden as a second.
Okay, that's a good one too.
I don't know. I've seen way more women at Iron Maiden shows than Rush.
I don't think I've
sure.
ever
And
seen a woman at a Rush concert.
And I've counted.
Yes, on
believe me.
stage.
Oh, okay, Carrie.
No, I'm saying Geddy Lee. Isn't that?
Oh, shut your
What
mouth.
the fuck?
You
is up with
are.
that guy?
I'm driving out there,
Rush
man.
This is
horrendous.
Mike, I
His
can't believe you're
voice
letting
is
me
just
get away with this.
I
What?
deal with this all the time, Mike. I deal with
I know
this all the time.
They're troglodytes, Tom. They they don't understand. There's a big word alert.
Exactly. It's a big word alert. That's right. Let me ask you this before we let you guys go. And Zeus, if you got one, if you want to jump in when I'm done here, do you think right now that Kiss is one of those bands that right now has hung on too long with putting Tommy Thayer in the spaceman makeup, with putting Eric Singer in the Catman makeup, in touring? And do you think that it's like Zeus and I, we always joke on the show, how can you miss us when you never go away?
Carrie, or you want me?
I don't think anybody should be wearing the Ace and cat makeup.
Ooh, there we go.
I kind of agree.
I just, that to me would be like someone wearing Joey Jordison's mask and getting behind the drums of Slipknot. Like,
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
like that's not, you don't get to do that. That's Peter Criss is the cat, period. Ace Frehley is the spaceman, period. Now, if you want to replace band members, I'm not happy about it, but like, it's your band, do what you want. But I would say invent a new character.
They used to do that.
And have different paint and do something different, because I feel like that is that sacred thing.
Yeah.
You know, that I don't think that they should. To me, it hurts me to see someone dressed up as Peter Criss playing drums for Kiss. Like,
I love the Peter love you have, Carrie. I love it. Peter's the best.
I know.
Yeah, I know. It's tough.
We have their love song.
Like, I know me and Tom, like, we're on the same page with this. I don't care. I'd rather see the four guys out there. I know it's not Ace. I'll take it. And I get it. We're a brand. And they want the four makeup type that they can sell. It's money. Let's
What
be
girl
honest.
didn't want to be named Beth?
What girl?
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I don't think you should be singing Beth. I think that's a slap in the face.
Right.
Having
That's
Eric
something
Carr
that-
singing Beth is Eric Carr.
Eric Singer.
Eric
Yeah.
Singer singing Beth is a slap in the face.
Yeah,
And
I
I think
agree.
they do it on purpose. And there's no need for it. And there's no need for shock me to be.
They do it on purpose, but is Peter getting that money?
He better be.
Yeah. I mean, if he's getting the publishing, Peter Criss should be like, okay, sing it all you want. You know,
It's true.
those checks come in.
Yeah. But even in the documentary they did, remember, they couldn't use Beth and you wouldn't allow them.
That's right.
So he doesn't care.
That's
It
right.
gets to that point. The last thing I want to kind of ask you guys about, in the end, do you see Kiss? And let's say we're throwing these bands out we're all about the same generation, same hard rock, metal type fandom. I put the bands up there that are in a different echelon, like Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Black Sabbath,
Van Halen.
AC/DC. Is Kiss in that block for you guys? Or are they under it?
Right away, I would agree.
Yeah.
You know, I just think, you know, they have the songs. They created a show. Like, you know, well, they didn't create. I mean, Alice Cooper, right? But
Yep.
Kiss took it to a whole nother level.
Yes.
And, you know, they gave the people their money's worth and they wrote great songs. You look at the songs over time. I mean, just, you know, like, listen, like, I hate to say it because this is a very inappropriate song now, but Christine 16 has a hook.
Absolutely.
All right? Maybe
it does.
replace the lyrics with, you know, Christine 21, maybe to 25. But still, it's like, you know, there's when it comes down to it, it's a good song.
Yep.
And they write good songs, and they wrote some really great, catchy songs, like even into the 80s. Like I said, like Lick It Up,
Yep.
you know, or it's songs that are catchy, you know, and that's
band cite Kiss as influence
Oh God,
Yes,
and inspiration.
absolutely.
Right off the bat, that's the end of the debate.
Yeah.
They are a piece. If you're going to do the evolutionary chart of rock and roll, right? From, like monkey to man or whatever, if you're going to put that chart out there, Kiss is absolutely in there.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Corey Taylor and tell me that he wasn't inspired to have a career because of Kiss. Of course.
Slipknot, where Slipknot, they wear masks, they have a huge show and stuff. Where does that come from?
Yep.
All those bands of that, a Mudvayne, a Marilyn Manson, you're not going to have any of those bands. And that's not even, we don't even have to talk about the bands that wear makeup, but just the stripped down, like you said, those simple, just rock songs. They inspired generations of rock bands.
Motley Crue and everything that came out of L.A. and L.A. scene, Rat, all of them.
That whole hair metal scene. And if you get even to more contemporary, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Struts.
Yep.
I mean, they're like they're kind of like, if you watch them, that's like they're taken directly from Kiss, and there's a little Queen in there and stuff like that. But those guys, I mean, that's, they were strutting it like Kiss, man. I mean,
and like Buckcherry too.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And there's another band that writes great songs.
Yep.
We saw when we saw Kiss when Buckcherry opened for them, and Buckcherry is going to be on the Kiss cruise this fall. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There's two bands to say that Kiss doesn't have a place.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to separate bands based on, complexity of songwriting, or, you want to go like Rush and Dream Theater, or you want to go meaning behind lyrics like, Metallica, Master of Puppets, or Iron Maiden, or like what, like, you have to have a place for the AC/DCs, for the Kisses that are just the raw essence of rock and roll that has to be in the discussion. 100%.
Can I just touch on that and touch on that Zeus said earlier?
Yeah.
Like, I don't go to Kiss to find answers to the world's problems.
Exactly.
Okay. I go to Kiss to get away from the world's problems.
Yep.
Because Kiss sings about just a few things: partying, fucking, partying, and fucking. Okay. And it's like, people say that, they're like, oh, well, their lyrics are so, stupid and stuff. Yeah. You know why? Because I want to just play it really loud and forget that there's a fucking baby formula shortage out there, or whatever else is going on. I want to fucking throw on Room Service, and that song, that's like a teenage boy's dream, isn't it?
That's right.
I had that dream every night between the ages of 12 and 38.
However old you are now.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just occasionally. But I'm just saying that, for people that rank on Kiss because all they sing about is fucking chicks, it's like, yeah, I know.
Rock and roll doesn't exist without chicks.
Exactly.
Discussion.
Yes, Carrie. Absolutely. Right?
Exist. You're welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
Perfect.
And it's like, you're right, AC/DC and like the Scorpions and, Motley Crue. It's like, I'm not going to those guys like Dylan. I'm not going to those guys who are like, oh, what am I going to do about, these poor people and there's things happening in the world. It's like, well, Kiss, I'm not going to like throw on, Rock and Roll Over to find those answers. So fuck those people.
You don't have a woman and you want one.
Right.
You have a woman and you don't want one.
Right.
You had one and you still want her, but she's gone. There's two of them. You can't figure out which one you want.
Or there's two of them and you have both, right? Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Kiss.
Well, your buddy's got the one you want and you can't have her.
Mm-hmm.
She says all that stuff, but they also have what I call, and Tom knows this, the water boy type songs. You can do it. Fight. You're going to have a great time. You can overcome. You're going to do it.
Crazy nights. Woo.
Yeah. Your parents think I'm crazy. Yeah. Like all that rebellious shit.
God gave you rock and roll, man. All right. God gave it to you. Or
it'll cost you $19.95.
That's right.
And handling.
Don't forget, we also make coffee.
Perfect way to wrap it up. You guys, this has been amazing. Love it. We can
Dave, rock and roll.
there you go.
Oh.
There you go, right there.
Best day was when they stopped playing it in the set list and they started playing it as you exit.
As you exit the stadium, as you exit the arena over the loudspeakers. Yeah. This has been awesome. We could talk. We could.
Bill and Ted, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Anything with Keanu Reeves, I'm a fan.
Of course. We could talk all night about Kiss, but we want to thank you guys so much for your time. Carrie, give us a plug on where people can find you and what you're doing, where they can find you online or out in the world.
You can hear me on radio stations all over the place, including on AFN. So if you're in the military, you can hear me in 168 countries and 150 Navy ships.
Excellent.
But my home base is 100 FM, the Pike, doing afternoons, where Mike is doing mornings. And then the Mistress Carrie Podcast is a rock lifestyle podcast. So we talk to artists, we talk to instrument manufacturers, the techs, the producers, new bands, legacy artists. If it's under the rock umbrella, it fits. And you can go to mistresscarrie.com to get everything. It's all there. And I'm part of the Pantheon Podcast Network too.
Awesome. Mike, what about you, buddy?
Again, like Carrie mentioned, I do mornings at 100 FM The Pike. You can listen online. You can ask your smart speaker to play 100 FM The Pike. You can download the Pike app, listen to us anywhere in the world. You can stream us live at pikefm.com. I also do 2 podcasts, one on the Pantheon Podcast Network, Long May You Young. We mentioned it, Neil Young centric podcast. We started, it seems like 600 years ago, doing a deep dive into each album in chronological order, and it's just about fucking killing us. So I don't know how much longer, because he keeps putting out these friggin', archival releases and bootlegs. So who knows how long it's going to last. But I do that with Luke and Russ Condon from the Bandtown Meeting. We have a great time. Go to longmayouyoungpodcast.com. I also do another podcast called Breaking the Ice with my former afternoon partner and producer, Josh Dolan, and Isaiah, who are both on WAAF. And it kind of continues that shitty AAF attitude where we just piss all over everything and we're stupid and obnoxious. So if you like that kind of thing, breakingtheicepodcast.com. You can get that both of those anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Mike, Carrie, this has been an honor. We love you guys. And I'm so glad that you guys are still out there on your podcast, on your radio show, entertaining people. You guys rock. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it more than you know.
Thanks for having us.
A picture that I have been looking for this whole time to prove what a young Kiss fan I was.
Do it.
I find it. I'm going to send it to you guys so that you can see. I've been looking for it because I wanted cred with you guys.
Did you have was it like the Peter Criss Halloween costume? Because that's what I have, and I put that up all the time.
It was me in my childhood bedroom with black lipstick and rosary beads as a headband, standing in front of the Kiss bicentennial.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
It's epic. I'm gonna find it. How did they not know I was gonna grow into this when I got old? The picture is amazing. I have it. I'm trying to find it. It's driving me crazy that I can't find. I just found it.
See, magic moments on Shout It Out
Hold
Loudcast.
on, because you guys, I want your reaction.
Are you going to share this? Oh, good.
Yes, I have to, because I have been looking for this. It encompasses my life fully, because the 2 things that I loved the most as a kid were Kiss and the Muppet Show.
Oh no, I love it. Yes. Yes.
And where is it? Hold on, my computer. Oh, I can't. I'm so happy I found it. Are you ready?
Yes.
I think so.
Here it comes.
Oh God. Uh-oh.
Mrs. Carrie, so it's in the chat. I can open it up from the chat button here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not asking me to download it. Oh. Okay.
She's not going to download it.
I just got a new hard drive and my computer's not going to crash by me downloading this.
She's sending us a virus. Oh my God, I'm looking at that. Is fantastic. You got Miss Piggy in the karate outfit.
Yes.
And then you got Kiss, the Spirit of 76 poster.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
That is my childhood right there in one photo.
That is awesome.
Spectacular.
I have literally been looking for this picture for the last hour because it was driving me crazy that I couldn't find it. I'm so happy before the show ended.
Awesome.
That is
so cool.
awesome. Thank you,
guys.
Thank
you so much. It's been an honor for us Bostonians to get to meet you guys, and a privilege to share our podcast with you on Pantheon. Thank you so much. We really
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, you guys.
We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Thank
thanks.
you. Tom, we're back. What'd you think?
It was great. I mean, just down to earth, fans of music, fans of Kiss. Clearly, they both had some really special memories of the band, what they love about them, and just talking to fans about music is always awesome. But when you're talking to people like them who have been in the business, who have met the band, who are in that radio world, it just adds a little bit of extra to it. But it was such a fun conversation. We could have kept going all night. We easily could have kept going all night. Everybody was taking turns, giving their 2 cents about whatever we were talking about. And it was just a blast. It was a real thrill to finally meet them and talk to them, not just about Kiss, but just, like I said, music in general, just having a really fun time.
What I also enjoyed was their input and expertise as being radio hosts and knowing the music scene of where Kiss stood with them.
Yep.
And the praise they have for Kiss and the love they have for Kiss. That stuff always warms my heart to hear them talk about, fuck yeah, they're a radio band. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, good radio station band. But the fact that they knew all the songs, they knew all the hits. They weren't just like, yeah, we're DJs, we know all artists. Yeah, and Kiss is one of them. No. Kiss is up there for them. And that just makes me put a big smile on my face. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's crazy because I asked that question. They both looked at us and what do you, they're a radio band. And I was like, okay. And you heard, we try to kind of explain what we were talking about, but to them being in the radio business, they're like Rock and Roll Night in Detroit Rock City. Even if that's the only 2 songs you ever play, how many bands out there would love to have those 2 songs?
Yeah.
So hearing their perspective of what they consider Kiss to be in that rock radio world was just a really interesting, and that's why we had them on, to get their opinion of that from their angle. And it was awesome.
Yeah. And do you see, to hear Mistress Carrie's passion behind why she thinks that about the band, that's just fucking awesome.
And talk about passion. How fucking excited was she at the end to show us that picture, to share that picture of her as a little kid with her standing in front of the Spirit of 76 poster. And she's like, that's the passion. And like we said, talking about Kiss, like Mike said, it should be a fun and exciting, nostalgic thing, because you're talking about one of the greatest bands in the world.
And and they're still continuing that as being both DJs still at the Pike and having their own music podcast. You guys should check it out. Mistress Carrie, go through she doesn't you know what? She's met huge stars.
Her
Same thing with Mike.
Her show's amazing.
She's got big guys coming on. Mike does a podcast on fucking Neil Young.
Yep.
And he's a huge Kiss fan. I love that. It's like being an Eagles fan and liking Kiss.
Yep.
They're kind of almost polar opposite. One's a critic darling and one is like a fucking fan darling. And they both bring a great perspective about Kiss and Kiss meeting its listeners and the radio programmer directors and all the stuff that we don't have the inside knowledge of. They do. Yeah. And to hear them singing Kiss's praises, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And like we said, you'll hear, you heard them doing their plugs. You could check them out online. Their radio shows are online and they're great to listen to, and they're passionate about what they're playing, and they love it all. They love all the stuff, the new and the old.
Yeah. So with that being said, Tom, we go to question of the week.
And our question of the week is brought to us by an amazing company where our good buddy and Patreon pal, Joe Decker, is with. Fusion Tech Data and Electric. Yeah, Fusion Tech. Fusion Tech is a recognized communications contractor specializing in the construction, splicing, testing, and documentation of all types of fiber optic networks. Along with that, Fusion Tech Electric can service all your electrical construction needs, commercial, industrial, and utility, as well as electrical substation work and all UPS and DC power plant installation. Fusion Tech currently operates throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City, as well as New Jersey and the tri-state area, providing union labor with IBEW Local 3 in New York City and IBEW Local 164 and Local 102 in New Jersey. For more information about Fusion Tech, visit their website at fusiontech-llc.com or call them at 973-650-1357.
Yeah, Fusion Tech.
All right. Our question of the week comes from our good buddy who has a podcast of his own, Stevie Flythe. Yeah,
Ooh.
Stevie. And this comes from our website, which we love when people go into our website and submit stuff.
What's that website?
ShoutItOutLoudcast.com.
Yeah.
The subject is, what if? He says, hypothetical question. Let's say they release The Elder and it is a smash hit. They tour for a year and people love it. Also, The Elder movie gets made, and let's say it does okay. How does this change things for them going ahead? Do we get a heavy album like Creatures, or do they stay Elder-like? Curious to see what you guys think. That's a great question, because Creatures of the Night was a direct result of the failure of The Elder. So if the Elder is revered, if it's looked at as Pink Floyd's The Wall, this prog masterpiece, this storytelling opera epic produced by Bob Ezra, that is a great question, Stevie, because I would like to think that would be something that they would do, get out of their system, and then move on. I don't think that they would keep doing something like that they would turn into this critical, proggy, long-winded darling. I don't think they would. I don't know if we'd get Creatures. Probably not, because Creatures, like I said, was a direct result of the wimpiness that some people think, like me, of The Elder. I think they probably would have gone back to the Unmasked type stuff. But I think the failure of that album gave us Creatures, which I think we're all happy about. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I think they would probably start exploring and do more things. You remember how hyped up Paul was about, like, shh, everybody quiet.
Yeah.
And watched and listened to this.
Yeah.
Like, I think he might have went to his head even more and tried to explore different avenues and different stuff.
Maybe.
I certainly don't think they would have came back with something as heavy as Creatures. At least I don't.
No, Creatures definitely wouldn't have existed.
No, I think maybe down the line if something else flopped, but I think they would have continued on this. We're now, respected. We need to change things up.
That would have been
knows?
insufferable. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? But it's a good question.
It's a great question, Stevie. Thanks, buddy. And check out his podcast, On the Flight, with Stevie and our other buddy, Jason Worden. They're doing a bunch of top 10s. They're talking about all different genres of music. So check those guys out. Fun show.
Yep. Great show.
Yep.
So, Tom, before we go on, we always like to tell people where they can find us.
You can find us everywhere. Start with our awesome new website, shoutitoutloudcast.com. You can go there. You can click on the merch link. You can click on our shop Amazon link.
Yeah.
It's just like regular Amazon, except every time you buy something, it's almost like putting a couple coins in a tip jar. It's
Shit,
like that.
I'm going to buy that fucking new Jan Terry box set.
That's right.
Might as well give them a fucking couple pennies.
That's right. You can also hear all of our episodes on there. You can look at all of our rankings. That includes the ARC stuff, the Zeppelin Chronicles stuff. Check it out. You can submit questions and comments directly through there, as we've read tonight. So please check that.
Yeah, Tom, I want to add something before you move on.
Oh, yeah.
Check out the rankings, especially the song rankings.
Yeah.
Because Tom busted his ass while his boss thought he was working and updated those fucking rankings.
Yep.
And they're up to date because we haven't done an album review in a while. But when we do them, he's got to update fucking 200 songs each.
That's right. Yep.
And he did that. And that now includes, we also added the box set disc information, Killers and obviously Crazy Nights. Check out where we put the rankings of these songs. Tell us if we're smart, stupid, or a kiss-tard.
Or all of them.
Yeah.
We could be all that. Yeah.
So we'd love to see your feedback. Check out the rankings all around, and then check out the ARC rankings or Zeppelin 2 we just did. Look at the Zeppelin rankings. Now we have rankings for 2 albums. Where do the songs rank?
Right.
It's all there.
Exactly. Yep.
It's all there.
And of course, our email, as we keep mentioning, you can email us on the website directly, but you can also send us an email from however you choose to shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. That's our email address. Please do that. And then, of course, social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all those. Keep interacting with us. Keep commenting, retweeting, sharing, tagging, all that good stuff. We love it. We have our Facebook page, and then we have our Facebook group, Shout It Out Loudcasters. And of course, like I said, Twitter and Instagram, you can send us direct messages on those if you want to do that. And as we mentioned earlier, our wonderful Patreon family, check us out, patreon.com and Patreon the app. And us, along with Mistress Carrie and Mike Hsu, we are all part of the awesome Pantheon Podcast network of shows. Check us out there and check those guys out, please. And there's not a shortage of ways to find us. We're out there.
Tom, I always like to tell people they can DM us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is constantly growing. We're almost there at 600 subscribers. We'd love if you could subscribe and get us there. And we appreciate all your support on that. It's getting a lot of comments. And in addition to that, we'd love if we would get some nice feedback from you. Give us one of those 5-star child reviews on iTunes, Podchaser, Spotify, Good Pods. That's another great place you can download our episodes. Anywhere you can give a 5-star review, even Facebook. All those things help us. It's a big assistance to us, moving us up the food chain, and we greatly appreciate all that stuff that you guys do for us. I always like to tell people to give us those emails and repeat the email address, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. And of course, now I'm repeating the website, shoutitoutloudcast.com, shoutitoutloudcast.com. As Tom mentioned earlier, we got everything on there for every single episode you can find. You can sign episode notes where we rank things, who won in a trivia contest, who fucking likes music from the Elder and who doesn't, ARC stuff, Zeppelin stuff, you name it, it's on our website. And obviously the merch is there. The merch has been going like fucking. Maybe it's everybody buying merch that they want to wear it at Creatures Fest, Tom.
It could be it. Yep. Could be it.
And we'd love to see you guys. This is going to be the last episode before Creatures Fest. Do not hesitate. Please come up to us. Say hello to us at Creatures Fest. I mean, we'll be around hanging out. We're not doing boots and sitting there and fucking stapling ourselves to a chair. We're mingling with the fucking kiss-tards because we're going to be there right there with you.
And please let us know. Let us know. I mean, we can't fucking wait. And the thing that we love about this too, or me, I love that everything is in one place. It's at the hotel from fucking Thursday to Monday. I mean, granted, people want to go out and party at night or do anything outside of Nashville. I'm game for that too because I've never been to Nashville. But this is going to be a fucking epic weekend. So please give us a shout out. Let us know if you're around.
Yeah, I believe, Tom, we're coming in Thursday night, correct?
That's right. Yep, that's right.
And so we'll be there Thursday night till Monday. Yep. Find us, man. By the way, the George Jones Museum restaurant is in Nashville, Tom.
Let's go. That's your boy.
It's a 3-minute walk from the Johnny Cash Museum and Cafe.
Okay, we're going. We're doing that.
So let's do the George Jones, Johnny Cash. Any other country fan people out there want to do this with us? Let us know. Okay.
Where's the Jan Terry coffee shop?
It's across the Wendy's at the fucking the Golden Corral.
Where's the Ace Frehley slice?
Jesus fucking Christ. Where are these fucking guys coming from? Guys, we can't fucking wait to see you guys. Let's have a blast. Reach out to us. Send us DMs. If you need to like fucking like, hey, where I talk to us, you'll find us. I'm sure we won't be the quiet ones there.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. So, Tom, what we like to do always is end with famous last words. You got any?
Oh, of course I do. It's incredible, these lyrics. Oh, my goodness. Asked her for a refill. Sweat flew off my face. She's a legendary figure, kept me in a cage. She's a torture chamber. When I seduced her in my bed, she gave a cold reading. Success went to her head.
Lick it up. Lick it up. Oh, oh, oh. It's only right now. Lick it up. Lick it up. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, yeah. Lick it up. Lick it up. Oh, oh, oh. Come on, come on. Lick it up. Lick it up. Oh, oh, oh. Come on.
Oh, boy.
Mistress Carrie, Mike Hsu, Kiss Army, Loudcasters, Tom. Muchas gracias, amigos. Thank you, guys. You guys are the fucking best.
Mistress Carrie and Mike Hsu, thanks so much for joining us. We loved it. We had a blast. We hope you guys did too. Guys, everybody out there, thank you so much for making last week's episode just through the roof. We can't thank you guys enough for all the likes and shares and support and interaction. You guys are amazing, and we love you for that. Zeus, as always, my friend, thank you for everything.
And Creatures Fest, we're going to see you guys.
Boom.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
We are all patriots, and tonight the Patriots are world champions.